Hello. I need a lint roller. So today we're talking about insecurities. I think that there are 4 types. I'm just making it up as we go along here, guys, okay? So there are 4 types of insecurities, I think, okay? So there's financial insecurity, physical insecurity, emotional insecurity, and sexual insecurity. And we're going to dive deep into each one because the reason being is my life yesterday, I got all kinds of triggered because I was really sexually insecure about something, and it put me in a very vulnerable position to have to talk to somebody, and I didn't love it. I didn't know it was a sexual insecurity though until after the fact. But let's talk about each one, and then we're going to talk about how to transcend it. Okay, it's really important to know which insecurity you're dealing with when you are feeling insecure, because when you know what you're dealing with, then the solution is, specific to that experience. Okay, so financial insecurity. Financial insecurity is when you don't have abundance mindset, when you are struggling, when you are working way too hard, not work smart, not hard kind of thing. You are living paycheck to paycheck. You are not seeing money as powerful. And instead, you think money has power over you. There's a differentiation. Okay? It's financial insecurity is so crippling. I really hate this country for what it does to people in terms of this insecurity. However, there's a way to transcend it. The way to transcend financial insecurity is simply by stepping into more of a belief system that there are 2 ways to make money. You spend more or you make less. Wait, there are 2 ways to make money. You either make more or you spend less. And it's pretty simple. Money is simple. Money is a relationship just like anything, and you still need to give it attention. You cannot avoid your bank account. You cannot procrastinate your bills. Believe me, I've done that. You simply have to become so incredibly present with money so that that money can no longer hold any power over you. That is the way you transcend it. And some tips and tricks for that would be to have no spend months. Check in with your finances and see, and just really pay attention, like, where am I putting money that actually doesn't bring me joy, and how can I cut corners, because we need to start with a blank slate, and then we can start looking forward to things that are actually our luxuries, whether it's travel or eating out or whatever the case may be. But if you're just spending money to spend money, honey, that's not a relationship, that's a transaction. Okay? Then there's sexual insecurity, which I told you I was dealing with. Sexual insecurity is when you feel you are not enough sexually, and that can make you feel, because we're animals at the end of the day, and biologically we want to procreate. So if in the case of like you're very sexually attracted to an individual, but you guys are not together, you're in a situationship, and you feel incredibly insecure because you want to be sexually monogamous, and sexual monogamy equates to a whole load of benefits to you as an individual, but maybe not to them. And there's also cognitive dissonance with that can happen, where you think that if you sexually commit to someone and they don't sexually commit to you, then you are flawed in some capacity, and that leads to an incredible imbalance of nature. However, in nature, I'm not entertaining men fucking whoever they want to fuck. I'm just saying, I don't think that the king of the jungle, lions, are out here just having one mate. I'm just you have to understand that sexual insecurity stems from a lineage of survival techniques, and in order for us to thrive as a tribe, it's really just, it's so anthropological that it's not even funny. It's It's not, it's no big deal. At the end of the day, you have two options to transcend sexual insecurity. You start, you communicate your sexual needs to the individual that is causing you sexual insecurity, and you become monogamous. Or if that's not an option, you become mentally stronger and recognize that you are playing for keeps. You're playing for keeps, and so is this person. And so if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, it's very likely that they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. That's why you feel discombobulated. That's why you're sexually insecure. So it's not to say that you're entertaining other options. You're just like acknowledging that in the animal kingdom, men have to fight for the right to mate with that woman. And if you don't remember your animalistic nature and you think that it's up to you to get the man to mate with you, so to speak, then you're doing yourself a really grand disservice. So go back to the drawing board with this one and just acknowledge that you are an animal, and just step more into your animal power if you're feeling sexually insecure, and there's plenty of ways to do that. Physical insecurities. Physical insecurity stems from a disconnect between yourself. This is like where you are externally validating instead of internally validating. You do not like the way you look. You do not like your style. You don't like your body. In other words, you're incredibly unhealthy. You're incredibly unhealthy. Because if you were healthy, you would at the very least, be content with how you look. But you're not. Interesting. Very interesting. Physical insecurity is learned behavior, and that's really hopeful, because if it's learned behavior, that means that you can learn something new. The way to transcend physical insecurity is I would step more into comfort in the beginning stages of learning this self-love. So wearing things that make you feel comfortable, but also challenge you to an extent that showcases the body you actually have. Not like hiding yourself under baggy clothes. I've done that before. Wearing like clothes that fit you but are comfortable. Start there. Start with the basics. And then continue the continuation of basics. Just literally make sure you're clean and your skin is clean, and just start there. Okay? And then you can start, like, chances are your personal hygiene might be shit if you don't like the way that you look. Like, I don't know. There's just like, start at the foundation and work your way up, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, we all thought that like enlightenment was supposed to be the thing that we're supposed to be focusing on, but it's actually just, if you saw it, it's like security and fucking like, yeah, like, so that's why this is really important. That's why this discussion of insecurity is really important. So emotional insecurity. Emotional insecurity is when you feel as though you do not have a safe place to discuss your emotions, whether you are inhibiting yourself or others are inhibiting you, which is actually, this is also very positive because it's more of an environmental cause than anything. You now, the only way to transcend is acknowledging the environments that cause emotional insecurity, whether that be a relationship or not, or perhaps a state of mind that you enter in when you feel emotionally insecure, and then boundaries. So it's about environments and boundaries. And if you assess those things, you're more likely to come out on top emotionally, because you're not going to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, like emotionally, because you know what works for you, what doesn't. And then when you find yourself in uncomfortable emotional positions, like, it's not for you. You're not trying to form fit into it. You know that it's uncomfy. It's knowledge. Knowledge is power, baby. Knowledge is power. In general, all of these insecurities just represent a lack of safety, and you don't feel safe. That's why these emotions are coming out of you. That's why you have cringe experiences, because you don't feel safe, and you deserve to feel safe. So prioritize your safety today. Which insecurity do you resonate with the most, and how can you transcend it? I'd love to know what you have to think about that. Okay, I love you. Goodbye.